The top 10 quarterbacks were almost done here as we march to the season. Next week, we're going to do safety. And then right before the season, we're going to do the coaches in the NFL. So who are the best coaches in the league? Who are the best cornerbacks? The cornerbacks. But this is, I think the position, probably has evolved. For the longest time, I looked at these guys. Okay, who is the Deion Sanders? Who's the guy? Get the body in the wide receiver, stay with the receiver. The best is the number one guy, I think, like that. So much zone coverage, so I kind of factored that in a little bit more this year, especially at the top. But it's the main job of a corner is to stop guys from catching the football. Who's doing that the best for the most part? Who's the guy that's stopping guys from catching the football on the other side? So let's go ahead and get that squared away. Christian Gonzalez, I think, is probably one of the most slept-on players in the NFL. He's had some injuries, so I do think that factors in his case why he doesn't get the notoriety that some other players get. But when he has been on the field, he has been really good. So definitely missed some camp already. So I think that's given him. I think that's given some pause last year. But last year he was really good. 2 INTs, really long physical, like them in college. He was a guy who does a lot of things well. Definitely a good cover guy, but definitely in that Mike Vrabel system, I think it's perfect. He's perfect fit. A lot of that guys. A lot of these Patriot guys are going to fit with Mike Vrabel. Obviously, Mike Vrabel was a Patriot. A lot of it is the Belichick way. And so he is going to fit as well. So I think Gonzalez, I think we've only seen the scratch the surface. Their defense is really being slept on. I really like New England, the defensively this year. Marlon Humphrey. People keep calling him just a nickel corner because I don't think there's any question about it. You put him in the slot, he's the best nickel corner, I think, in the entire league. So Marlon's going to have in his age 29 season, he had 6 INTs last year. The sky is the limit for Marlon because he is going to take the ball in a different direction as well. He's not as good on the outside as he once was, so I think that's a factor. But if you put him in the slot, and I think that was definitely when you signed Jared Alexander and Nate Wiggins, that's definitely the go because he is going to be fierce in there as well. Definitely a read and react guy too. Does a lot of things well. Hits really well for safety as well. Gonzalez and him both really. They're not just guys that just get, you could just run over either in the run game and everything like that. Hits really well for safety. Marlon, I think, has been a top 10 for a while when he's been healthy. Been battling some issues, but when he's been healthy, he was healthy last year, healthy in camp. Number 9, Christian Benford from the Bills. The Bills used to have a really, really good secondary across the board. They still have, I think, an elite corner, Christian Benford, as well. So he was a really good last year for them. He had 2 interceptions, 64 tackles, 14 assisted tackles. Teams tend to stay away from him. He is from Baltimore, right? Even though he's playing for the Bills. 3rd season, he's going to make a lot of money pretty soon. Definitely, he's a guy. To me, he's a cover guy. He's definitely the guy that you could put on and take a guy out of the game. So he's going to be on Zay Flowers. He's going to be on Jamar Chase and these elite receivers, whatever. He's a guy who can handle his own physically, like his physicality too. Again, seeing guys, not just guys who can run, but good physicality. Benford, I think, number 8 for the Bills. Some people don't like Ward at times. I think because he is tend to freestyle a little bit. I think that's the only thing with Ward as well, Denzel Ward. So he does have an injury right now. He is a bit day to day. You never know in camp though with some of these injuries, right? You see with day to day. But he's a guy I really like. I think he's a guy for sure that can take the ball into the other direction. Not just you want to be an elite corner, not just guys who can be the Ike Taylor, knock the ball down and just run out of bounds, but somebody who can actually take the ball the other way and actually do some damage. So teams actually do stay away from Ward. he's a bit erratic at times. That's why he's not a little bit higher. But Ward, I think, definitely is the ball hawk of this group. Definitely a guy. You lift the ball in this area, Denzel Ward, you better be careful because he's going to go ahead and take it the next way. So Denzel Ward at 7. Here's another guy that, man, like you wonder, I think probably the team he's on is the reason why he's not talked about more. But you talk about man-to-man coverage, this is the guy, Derek Stingley Jr. So he's a guy that's definitely covered. He gets 5 interceptions last season. He's definitely a guy that can cover. Don't get me wrong. He can tackle. He can do some other things, but the outside coverage. He's the guy who can take these elite receivers and just go ahead and bottle them up, just like Benford and some other guys on this list. But he's the guy that can actually do that. When you have a guy like this, you could go ahead and do some different things. Their pass rush is really good in Houston, but you can. It's so important when we talk about pass rush to have a corner, right, who can cover, to do all those blitzes and things like that. You can take a few more chances when you have a Stingley there with great hands who can cover. Rarely fooled, too. Great football instincts. Stingley, number 6. I still have Jalen Ramsey in the top 5. I think like people have kind of forgotten about him because he's gotten older. The Dolphins weren't very good. This is still your guy. Ramsey is a guy who absolutely is the best trash talking safety, trash talking corner in the league. No question about it. He hits hard, he hits well, and he covers. He as much as any player embraces the island as much as anything like that. He embraces being there by himself. He wants to follow the number 1 receiver. He can cover the number 1 receiver as well. I think his coverage is still really good. Battling some injuries and older, so I got to factor that in. But I believe Ramsey is still really, really good. So I have him at number 5. Now, with the Squealers, should be easier on them, too, in Pittsburgh. They play a lot more zone as well. So he won't have to, he doesn't have to do as much man-to-man in Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin's defense as well. Jalen Johnson for the Bears. We know how good he has been in recent years. Not quite as good last year. I think some people might say, not quite as good. I think, frankly, teams just know not to throw at him. I think, as well, he had 2 picks last year compared for the previous year. So I think that's something. I think that's some of it with him. But I really like him. Definitely got some strength to him. These guys, one thing nowadays, receivers all used to be like, the elite was big, strong, these physical guys. Now you got these jackrabbits you got to get. So these big corners got to knock guys off routes as well. And I think Jalen Johnson absolutely can do that. Got a lot of dog in him, a lot of fight. Go to the Bears defense. I think this is one of the highlights of the defense. I have Jalen Johnson at 4. Hot sauce Gardner. Very unique player. The length is like Plastic Man, like you've never seen it. Long arms, long hand, long physique as well. He just is so hard to get around if you're a corner. That's what makes him so unique. Banged up, had some injuries last year. So I think like some people have him like he didn't think he played as well as he could have. Maybe there was a little bit overhype as well. I don't know. I had him a little bit higher last year, but let's not kid ourselves, though. This guy, Sauce Gardner, is outstanding as well. His hands, I think his second half, too, really cemented it for me. I think, maybe a bit of a slow start, but I thought he was really good in the second half. Sauce Gardner is outstanding. I have him at number 3. Patrick Surtain at number 2 from Denver. I think this is probably one of the best defensive players in the NFL, without the question. If you're talking about just the Deion Sanders man-on-man coverage, the best in the league. The best in the league. If you have receivers, it doesn't matter who it is. Pat Surtain can lock them up. The best outside man-on-man coverage corner in the league. I think Pat Surtain is without the question. Why isn't he number one? Like, if you think that, I think Trent McDuffie is sensational. Talk about everything he does. I've never seen McDuffie really get beat. I've never seen McDuffie really like this. I've never seen McDuffie, and he does so many things on the field. That's why I like him better than Surtain. That's why I would take him before I take Surtain, because McDuffie, even they put him on an island a lot. They blitz a lot and everything in KC. But this guy defensively, not only is he an outstanding cover guy, I think he's really right there, top 3 in the league as far as coverage. But man, he can play safety. He can play at the line. He can do everything. So definitely a complete complete corner rather. Trent McDuffie, number 1. Idiot if it. So there you go. Trent McDuffie gets the number 1 spot there as well. Now, I know somebody's going to say Surtain, disagree. That's why we have these lists, but I love him. I think he's fantastic. I think he's the best corner, I think, in the entire NFL. There you go. Top 10 NFL. This is definitely going to be on Twitter tomorrow and all of our social media platforms.